When the Cartwright family moved into the old Ashford house, they thought they'd finally found peace. After years of city noise and sleepless nights, the countryside seemed like salvation. The cottage stood at the edge of a quiet village, surrounded by oak trees and misty fields. The air smelled of rain and soil. "It's perfect," said Laura Cartwright, looking at the ivy-covered walls. Her husband Daniel smiled and kissed her forehead, but their 8-year-old daughter, Emily, didn't smile. She stood at the doorway clutching her stuffed rabbit, staring up at the large, old mirror hanging in the hallway. "Who's that?" she asked softly. Laura frowned. "That's you, sweetheart. It's just your reflection." Emily didn't answer. The first few days passed uneventfully. Daniel went to work in town, Laura unpacked boxes, and Emily explored the garden. But every evening when the light dimmed, Emily avoided the hallway. One night, Laura found her sitting on the stairs, pale and trembling. "Em, what's wrong?" "The girl in the mirror," she whispered. "She's angry." Laura forced a smile. "Honey, it's just your imagination. The mirror's old. Maybe it's warped. I'll clean it tomorrow." Emily shook her head. "Don't. She doesn't like when you touch it." The next morning, Laura wiped the mirror anyway. As she did, she noticed how strange it looked. The glass was perfectly clear, but the reflection felt wrong, as though the room inside it was slower. She waved her hand. Her reflection waved back, but just a second too late. Her stomach tightened. "Weird," she muttered. That evening, when Daniel came home, she told him about it. He laughed. "Probably old glass," he said. "The kind that bends light funny. Stop worrying." But that night, Laura dreamed of the girl's hand pressing against the other side of the mirror. Pale, thin fingers tapping faintly, as if asking to be let out. A week later, things began to escalate. Laura came downstairs one morning to find the hallway floor wet, as though someone had spilled water in front of the mirror. There were small footprints leading away, barefoot, but not Emily's size. When she asked Emily about it, the girl went silent. Later, while doing laundry, Laura heard her daughter talking in her room. At first, she assumed Emily was playing. Then she realized there was another voice, softer, echoing faintly, coming from no direction at all. "Who's in there with you, Em?" she asked, opening the door. Emily was sitting cross-legged in front of her bedroom mirror, smiling faintly at her own reflection. "No one," she said. "Just her." Laura's heart skipped. "Her who?" Emily looked at the glass. "She says she used to live here. She says her name's Alice." That night, Laura and Daniel argued. "You're letting her imagination run wild," he said. "She's lonely, that's all." "But, Dan, she's talking to her reflection. And that mirror." "Then take it down." Problem solved. So Laura did. The next morning, she unhooked the heavy mirror from the hallway wall and dragged it to the attic. As she covered it with an old sheet, she felt a strange chill spread through her fingertips, like static electricity, only colder. She shivered and left quickly. For 2 days, everything was peaceful. Then, on the third night, Emily woke screaming. Laura and Daniel ran into her room. The girl was pointing at her small vanity mirror, shaking violently. "She's back. She said you made her angry." Daniel rushed forward and grabbed the mirror. "It's fine, look. Nothing there." But as he tilted it toward the window, Laura gasped. For a split second, she saw another face, pale, sunken eyes, mouth open in a silent scream. Before the glass cracked down the middle, the lights flickered. The house went cold. After that, Emily refused to go near any reflective surface. Laura covered every mirror in the house with cloths. Even the television screen made Emily whimper. They considered leaving, but Daniel insisted it was just stress. "We'll call someone," he said. "A therapist, maybe." The next morning, he went to fetch something from the attic and didn't come back down. After 10 minutes, Laura followed. The attic door stood half open. Inside, the mirror sheet was gone, and Daniel was standing before it, motionless, staring into the glass. "Dan," she whispered. He didn't turn. "Dan!" She stepped closer and saw his eyes, wide, glassy, unfocused. His reflection, however, was smiling. "Daniel." She grabbed his arm, yanking him backward. He blinked, stumbled, and looked around. What happened?" he murmured. "You were just standing there," she said, trembling. "For how long?" He rubbed his temples. "I don't know." When they looked again, the mirror's surface was rippling, as though something beneath it was breathing. That night, Laura locked the attic door. But at 3:14 a.m., she woke to the sound of faint tapping. From the hallway, she crept out of bed, every instinct screaming, "Don't look." The house was silent, except for the dripping of a tap somewhere. Then she saw it. The mirror from the attic, now standing upright in the hall where it had always hung. The sheet lay crumpled on the floor, and in the glass, her reflection wasn't alone. Behind her, in the reflection only, stood a small girl in a white dress, her hair wet, her face pale as porcelain. Laura froze. Slowly, she turned around. No one there. When she looked back, the girl in the mirror was closer. Laura staggered back, whispering, "No, no, no." The reflection smiled and raised a hand, pressing it to the glass. The surface bulged outward, warping, as if soft and alive. Then, in a whisper that echoed to the hall, came the voice. "She's mine now." Laura screamed for Emily and ran to her room. The bed was empty. She turned to see light flickering beneath the door of the hallway mirror. She threw herself at it, pounding the glass. "Emily, come out." For a heartbeat, her daughter's face appeared on the other side, terrified, mouthing "Mum," before a pale hand dragged her backward into the dark. The glass cracked, then shattered. When police arrived 2 days later, they found the house empty. No signs of struggle, no bodies, no footprints, except for a small, wet trail leading to the shattered remains of a mirror. They boarded up the place and left it to rot. But sometimes, the locals say, when the sun goes down, the windows catch the moonlight just right, you can see 3 figures inside Ashford House, a woman, a man, and a little girl. Their reflections move long after the rest of the world stands still. And if you look too closely, one of them might wave back.